So as I said, I just started recording it because go through after that is a show that we just, this is the inaugural edition to different personalities from different, both engineering and outside engineering discipline or profession, to have an interface with them. Some of these personalities, we think we know them, but most times we don't really know them. And we want to use this opportunity for having this interface with them, know more about them, and some questions that we wish to know about them and the office they occupy. So today inside the arena, we have a special guest, a very distinguished engineer. Some of us only know him as three-time Vice President of the Nigerian Site of Engineers and President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. But there are many other things many of us don't know about him. This program today will give us the opportunity to really know much about the man we all call Shigerin Lafia, the President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, a very distinguished engineer, ALIMASUYA RABIU, Fellow of the Nigerian Site of Engineers and Fellow of the American Society of Civil Engineers. Engineer RABIU, it's my pleasure to welcome you to Inside the Arena. Please, can you unmute yourself, please, sir? You are the...
Okay, now. It's okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Ben Osi.
Now, let's begin with this. Who is Engineer A.A. RABIU?
Well, thank you very much and good afternoon, everyone who is here. It's my pleasure to appear on this program Inside the Arena, the very first edition of the program. I'm truly, truly honored to be the first person to appear on this program. Engineer A.A. RABIU. First A stands for Ali, second A for ALIMASUYA, the third, then RABIU is an engineer, a civil engineer of Lafia Nasarawa State Extraction. I was born in Lafia on the 24th of April, 1963, to be precise, on a Wednesday. So I can also be called Balarabe. And my father was Alhaji RABIU ALIMASUYA, a nurse who died in 2007 while I was chairman of Kano branch of the FNSE. My mom is still alive. She's Binta RABIU, and she was a housewife, and she's a bit aged now, and she's at home in Lafia. I think basically that's A.A. RABIU. I went to primary school in Lafia Nasarawa State, St. William Primary School, to be precise, Lafia Nasarawa State, from 1968 to 1973. In 1973, I got admission as a very small boy to government college in Makurdi. That time, Makurdi was also in Benue Plateau State, those days of Benue Plateau State. So it was part of my state at the time. And I went to secondary school in Makurdi from 1973 to 1978. Thereafter, I gained admission into the Plateau State Polytechnic, Part in Ladi, as one of the second set students, because the school started in 1978, and I got admission in 1979. Then I went to Federal Polytechnic, Bida, where I had my HND. Thereafter, I went to Bayero University, Kano, do a degree in civil engineering, and a master's in business administration. That's A.A. RABIU.
Thank you very much, President. You talked about your father and your mother. Which of them are you more your father or your mother?
Oh, indeed, I think I am more my father. People normally say that I am a carbon copy of my father. I wish I still had I had photographs very close by. I would have shown you, and then you would have determined whether I'm saying the truth or not. But I think I'm more my father.
Thank you. In your life, who is your role model?
Well, I'd like to say my role models would be the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad. He is my role model of the religion that I prefer.
If I may ask you, what are the three most important things in your life?
Well, the life itself is one of the most important things, because you have to have the life before you can even remain alive. So life is one of them, and I think the first. Then the most important thing you said, well, I don't know if my family is a thing. If my family is a thing, I would say then my family is the second most important. And then, of course, my means of livelihood, which is engineering.
That's interesting. Now you told us about your life and the schools you attended and the meaning of A, the first A and the second A in your name. Have you ever had any nickname growing up or now?
Well, I had a nickname when I was in college, and that nickname it has not faded actually, but it was Lee. Lee, L-E-E, not the Chinese Lee, but it was like a short form for Ali, the L-I, so it was now spelled L-E-E. So I have one of my friends in secondary school, my classmate, who was very close to me in Abuja. He's a barrister at law, Barrister Sadana Obande, who up to today calls me Lee. Apart from him, no other person calls me Lee. He was my classmate in college. But now my engineering colleagues call me AA. Particularly someone like engineer, past president Olorun Femi. They call me AA.
All right. So they are also permitted to call you Lee too. Okay, that's interesting. Now, as a person, what attracts you to people?
Sorry?
What attracts you to people? Or what qualities attract you to people?
Well, most importantly, I get attracted to people that I perceive as serious people. People who are dedicated to whatever they do. People who are sincere in all that they do. And of course, people who are hardworking. Once you have all these qualities, I will do everything to be your friend.
That's interesting. Then another question I would like to ask you is, what kind of music do you enjoy?
Well, when I was
recently, I saw a video of you in Apwen program dancing during their program. I
was not really dancing. I was just shaking my body because Valerie insisted that I had to dance. She did everything. I know you will attest to the fact that you have not seen me dance in any NSE function. Recently, it became my policy not to dance in the public when I became the Chigere of Life in 2009. But I was a disco person, a nightclub person before. I remember Olorun Femi and myself used to go to nightclubs a lot in Abuja. Anytime we came for council meetings in Abuja. But after the Emir of Lafia conferred on me the Chigere of Lafia, I see, so that nobody will video me and go and show the Emir, see, this is your chief. Actually, but I like Nigerian music. Nigerian artists, I like their music a lot. And those days I used to play them a lot.
That's interesting. And now I will ask you, what makes you laugh?
The way you ask me questions also make me laugh. But actually, a lot of things make me laugh. A lot of things. When funny things make me laugh, and of course, when somebody is trying to play smart, and I discover that the person is trying to play smart, I just laugh. So those type of things. I have a good laugh.
That's interesting. So anytime you laugh, when you are with somebody, the person should be very careful. He might be, maybe you have caught the person trying to outwit you. Let me ask you, what is the bravest thing you have done as a person? Something you can say, this is the bravest thing you have done.
Honestly, I can't say, because I'm not a very good risk taker. So people who take risks are those who can lay claim to brave things that they have done. So personally, I'm not a risk taker as such. So I can't recall anything bravest that I have done. But I try to do things that are within my capacity.
Okay. Sorry, we had a very brief interruption with your network. But let me ask you again. Is there anything you can, or let me put it this way, what can you not live without? Is there anything you cannot live without?
What I cannot do without?
Not live without.
I don't think there is. I can adjust to any situation. I can easily adjust to any situation.
All right. And what is your best local dish?
Semovita.
And what soup?
Egusi soup. But I know you know, Ben, because I've gone out with you several times.
I may know, but our participants don't know. It's for their own interest, so that if you have any visited, he knows the kind of meal he should be preparing for you.
No, that's my best delicacy. But sometimes I prefer tuwon shinkafa, that's mashed rice with miyan kuka, with mancha.
All right. Okay, let me ask you, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I read a lot of biographies, books on biography of great men. I think I have over 100 collections of biographies of great men, the likes of Nelson Mandela, Tony Blair, George Bush, Barack Obama, David Jackson, Sunusi, immediate past emir of Kano, SLS, Sunusi Lamido Sunusi, whose book I just bought only yesterday when I was coming to Kano in the airport. And it's what I'm just about trying to read. And of course, the making of the Nigerian engineer by Engineer Ike Iwa. So I read books at my free time. And also, I play the game of Scrabble. That you can attest to.
I'm happy you mentioned Scrabble, because I know consistently you have won prizes at the engineering games, the Scrabble competition. The last engineering was medal, last engineering game, even defeating a ranked player by the Nigerian Scrabble Federation. That shows that you are very good and interesting. Now, what is that thing? Maybe one you are not good at doing.
Sorry?
One thing you are not good at doing, or you are not good at.
Well, I'm not good at lying and hypocrisy. I'm a very straightforward person. I don't like hypocrisy. I don't like hypocrisy.
Fantastic. Now, have you ever been misconceived, or is there any, how do I put it? Have you ever been misconceived by people?
Well, I wouldn't know. The people may have misconceived me, but I wouldn't know really. I wouldn't know. I can't tell you I know.
Okay. What is the best piece of advice as a person you have received?
Best piece of advice. Well, recently I would say it was the advice for me by Engineer Kashim Ali in 2019 to run for the office of COREN FNSE. He advised me to run, and I did, and I won, and the rest is history.
All right. Let me ask you this. You know, as a president, as a person, you must have received many gifts. Which of them do you consider the most thoughtful gift you have received?
Well, I don't know if it's an award. If an award is a gift, I would like to say the best that I have had was in 2008, when Engineer Kashim Ali was president of FNSE. At that time, Presidential Merit Awards meant a lot to some of us. And without asking, without prompting, without any inkling, I was nominated by the president for a Presidential Merit Award. It came to me as a big surprise, and my eyes are very dry. I'm not one who is good at shedding tears. Even when I lost my father, I didn't cry. So, but for that particular award, I almost shed tears because of the way I valued it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. What is the nicest thing that someone has done for you?
Sorry?
Nicest thing someone has done for you?
Nicest thing. Well, I can recall that recently in 2014, when 2014, 13 or 14, when Engineer John Chukwu was permanent secretary of the FCT, and placed a call across to me and asked me to come to his office, and I did, and he gave me a consultancy job without my asking. For me, it was so nice. It was so nice of him, and I really appreciated it. Very big consultancy job in the satellite town.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. Now, how you say your role model is Prophet Muhammad. Now, how do you connect with God?
Through prayer. I pray 5 times a day, as it's ordained in our religion. And if I have any reason to do any special prayer, I wake up in the middle of the night to do ablution, pray to God, and tell the Almighty God what I need, what I want.
Now, let's now go to where many people are waiting for us to go to, and that is talking about engineering. At what point did you decide to study engineering, and who inspired you?
Well, when I was in college, my desire was actually to read medicine when I took the sciences. And after WAEC, and we were the first set of JAM in 1978. And I didn't get admission in JAM. I had to settle for Polytechnic. So I didn't want to continue to stay at home. And I went to the Plateau State Polytechnic. At that time, they had only 3 engineering programs and NCE Technical: Mechanical, Civil, and Electrical, and NCE Technical. NCE Technical at the time we perceived as young boys was for old men. And even though it was a 3-year program, after graduation, there's a job waiting for you in secondary school and all that, but it wasn't appealing to me. So one of my friends who was in the Polytechnic at the time was reading mechanical engineering. He even bought the form for me and said I should come and do mechanical engineering. And I said, no. I don't want to be a mechanic because of the way I see them on the streets and all that. So I looked at electrical, didn't appeal to me. So I said, okay, I'll go to do civil. But really, at that time, at the age of 15 or 16 or thereabout, I didn't really know what civil engineering was all about. But I thought that it was the best discipline of engineering that I should take. And I went for civil engineering. So I came to engineering, not because I dreamt of doing engineering, even right from childhood, but because of circumstances.
All right. Now, is there any of your children studying engineering?
Yes, my last born studied engineering, civil engineering also.
Wow, that's like father, like son. Now, you're from Nasarawa State, but you are based in Kano. Many people think you are from Kano State. So you have lived almost all your life in Kano. What took you to Kano?
Well, I actually came to Kano to read civil engineering by Bayero University, Kano, in 1992 or thereabout. And before then, I used to come to Kano to visit one of my friends who was working in Savannah Bank of those days, And he helped me to get admission in Bayero University. And because I came with HND, I was given 300 level. I did 3 years degree program. And because of the program, I had projects doing in the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital. You see it in my CV. And at that time, we thought, okay, Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital, yes, under the Bayero University. And so I finished the program and decided to stay in Kano, practice in Kano. That was how I came to Kano. So I can say I came to Kano in 1992. I came to Kano in 1992.
Since then, you have remained in Kano. And now
I remained in Kano, but I'm thinking of relocating to meet you in Abuja also.
The space, we have a space for you, but I don't want to be the one to prompt that so that I will not offend Kano people. But anytime you decide to come to Abuja, we are ready to welcome you. Now,
okay.
ARAR is the name of your firm. When was it founded? And how did you come up with the name ARAR?
ARAR, I call it RR, but if you like, you say ARAR. A lot of people call it ARAR. RR was founded in the year 1990. Together with one of my friends, who is late now, an architect Asadugu Rufus, from Adamawa State, Numan, Adamawa State. The first AR stands for RABIU, that's my name. And the second AR stands for Asadugu Rufus, that's my architect friend. But when he passed on in the year 2000, I maintained the name ARAR, but I changed the ownership, the directorship.
Wow, that's interesting. You have been involved in a lot of engineering projects. Which of these projects, since you started your company, which of them can you say most challenging, and which of them will you look back and say, Eureka?
Well, we have done so many projects, as a matter of fact, as a firm, both design and supervision. And there are many of them that were quite challenging. I would like to pick on the one we had recently in Adamawa State on a World Bank project, RAM, Rural Access and Mobility Project in Adamawa State. It was a rural road supervising about 210 kilometers of rural roads in Adamawa State. And one of the roads, there was a river crossing that we had to provide a river that we had to provide a crossing. And there was no funds to that, much funds to provide a bridge. The crossing was close to about 50 meters. And there was no bridge. There was, that we had to provide something so that people can drive across that river. And together with my engineers, we put up the design of a multiple cell box culvert of about 12 cells, and they thought it was not going to work. Even when the national project coordinator and his team came from Abuja to inspect the design and the ongoing project, they were taken aback. But at the end of the day, we constructed, the contractor constructed the culvert, what I call it now, based on our design, and it is still standing. It stood the test of time, and they are using it. People are crossing with their vehicles to the farms and to their villages. So I want to say that was a landmark, project for me, and of course there are many others.
That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Who is your best professional colleague, and who can you say was your best boss?
Many best professional colleagues. You are one of them. You are one of them. Very many, and I can't name names. There are many. Best boss. Well, I have so many bosses whom I may not have worked directly under, but I consider them my bosses because we met in the Nigerian Society of Engineers, most of them, and they mentored me, so to say. I would like to single out someone like Engineer Ibrahim Khalil Iloa, who is late now, who was my mentor, in Kano, and also Kashim Abdul Adi. I would say it's my good boss. It's my boss any day. And, it's always been a good boss to me. There are others who are my bosses and my friends. Someone like Engineer Olonfemi, Demola Olonfemi, very good friend and a good boss also. He was my boss because he was my president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. And now, my major mentor is Engineer Abu Ahmed Gumel. He is also my boss. I've not worked directly under him, but I regard him as one of those that I look up to. Yeah.
All right, that's interesting. About NSE, how and when did you become interested in NSE? And who encouraged, or did anybody encourage and inspire you to join?
Yeah, talking about inspiration, not really, but encouragement, yes. Engineer, you may be surprised, Engineer Mekamo Makizim. Eze, I met many years ago when he was a boy. People don't know. He was a young man, a young boy, came to do his NYC in last year. And at the time, I was also working in a company, a firm, belonging to one of our colleagues in the NSE now. It's a fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Tanku Baba. Tanku Baba Abdullahi was our boss. And Eze came for youth service and he was posted to that company and we met. So when he left, we didn't lose contact. And the first time I went to Lagos in my life in 1986, Eze had an office in Surulere. And he gave me the address. I visited the office and he dashed me 20 naira. Big money at the time. Big money at the time. So later he became very active in NSE. He rose to become vice president when he generated my interest. And so in 1996 or 7 or thereabout, I attended my first conference through the instrumentality of past President Eze. And since then, I never looked back.
Wow. That's one interesting thing about this program. Many of us don't really know that you have this rich connection with Engineer Eze, and you are bringing it up on the table today. That's interesting. That's interesting. Now we are the chairman of Kano branch, site of engineers. Under your leadership, Kano branch took the first position in the NSE Group Dynamics competition. What was your greatest achievement as chairman of NSE Kano branch?
Well, one of them you have mentioned. We came first in the group dynamics. That's an achievement, a very big achievement. From a branch that I met in the 16th position when I became chairman. My first attempt at group dynamics as chairman in 2008 in Bauchi, we came second. And when we went to Owerri in 2009, we came first. So that for me, that was a big achievement. Apart from that, I, as chairman, in collaboration with my colleagues who were in the EXCO, got the first NSE bus, Kano branch bus for the branch. And I think that's the only bus the branch is still using in 2009. And beyond that, when I became chairman in 2006-07, when we called for branch meetings, you hardly see more than 30 people, 40 people in branch meetings. But during my time, the hall was usually not enough. We had over 100, So I did a lot of mobilization, of NSE members. So I generated their interest. I got them to be interested in NSE activities because we did a lot of activities and programs. And so for me also, that was a huge achievement. One of the things I wanted to do that I couldn't do was to get a piece of land for Kano to start our, branch secretariat. Because it usually pisses me off when I visit some of these small branches and I see that they have secretariat and Kano never had a secretariat. But thank God today we have the land, and with the support of the NSE President Babagana Mohammed, we have started the project under the chairmanship of the Yebu Tijani, who incidentally is my staff in COREN. So you can see that we also have a hand in even starting the secretariat.
Now, when we are talking about Kano, something just came to my mind, and I want to mention that before during one of the NSE programs. I say when I was talking about West Abuja branch is to have produced number of, and I also remember that day that I walked to you to ask you one question about engineer Ibrahim Kari which you gave question up. It seems that there is something in Kano branch that once you become a chairman of Kano branch, that will be a kind of a springboard in life. I can remember that Ike Inwa served as chairman of Kano branch, and from there, the president became COREN president. We also had the likes of engineer MB Shehu, who later became NSE president and also became president of Federation of African Engineering Organization, and of course, World Federation of Engineering Organization. I also remember my very good friend, engineer Dr. Jibrin, who is the current DG of National Board for Technology, not forgetting the executive chairman of NCC, Professor Dambata, who also served as and you, president of COREN branch, so that can begin to push some Nigerian engineers to Kano branch and go and become chairman and now rediscover their potential from Kano branch.
So what's the question?
The question is, what is behind that in Kano branch?
Well, you have mentioned only 5 out of the many branch chairmen Kano has produced. I was the 15th or so thereabout chairman of Kano branch, and after me, we have had almost 6 or so. So we have produced more than 20 branch chairmen. and only 5. I hope you can hear me, like you are still. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 There's an issue. Is it from me? From him, I think. Sorry. Those of us who have advanced beyond being chairman of Kano, we're only lucky to have gotten ourselves where we are. All other branches have also produced a lot of people who have, made progress after being chairman. Abuja branch is one such branch. I know a lot of people who have been chairman in Abuja branch who have gone ahead in life to occupy other bigger positions. So there's nothing magical, really, about Kano branch. Thank you.
All right, sir. Let me.
You got lost somewhere along the line.
Hello, can you hear me, Mr. President?
I can hear you very well now. Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Let me bring you back to, pin you back to the. All right, let me ask you this question. You also, after you served as, in fact, when you were of Kano branch, you contested and won election as vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and you served for 3 years as vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. But in 2013 and also in 2015, you contested and lost election as deputy president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. Many thought you would disappear from the scene. In fact, let me remember one incident. You lost the election in 2013, December. In January 2014, I'm very sure of that, you anchored the investiture of Femi as president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. We thought you would disappear from this, but you remain committed to the cause and ideals of the society and the profession. Why?
Well, there was this thing we used to say, that the blood that is flowing in our veins is the blood of NSE. NSE is very, very dear to us, no matter whether we are opportune to lead the society or not. And so I aspired for leadership of the society, not for my own personal aggrandizement, but for the love I have for society and the engineering profession at large. So losing election would not have deterred me from doing those things that I needed to do for the growth and progress of the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So that was it. I had to, and besides, my friend was going to be president, and at that time, we were only called MCs. We were not called director of programs, but you are director general today of programs. so I had no option than to actually anchor that program.
That's very interesting. In 2019, as the president of COREN, was it a function of providence or an opportunity, or as a result of your long-standing commitment to the engineering profession?
I want to say it's the three of them put together. It was providence, yes, because I just found myself at the right place at the right time. And this happens to so many people. I can even name some people who became NSE president by providence, because they were in the right place at the right time. Well, then you said whether it was an opportunity. Yes, it was an opportunity because at the time that the COREN presidency was becoming vacant in 2018, and I looked at the council, the composition of the council, and I realized that of all the members in the council, I could garner a lot of support to become president and continue with the vision, of the outgoing leadership. So and with the advice of the outgoing president, I went for it, and God gave it to me. Then the third one you said as what? Whether it was as a result of my long-standing commitment, right? To the engineering profession. I also want to say yes. It was as a result of that. It was also maybe perhaps due to sympathy some council members had for me for not emerging as president in NSE, and they thought that I could, come to do what I didn't have opportunity to do in NSE, I could do them in COREN. So that's it.
All right, thank you very much, President. Now, I will call this a direct question to you. Many have always asked this question. Your emergence was a surprise to many Nigerian engineers. Why was it a surprise? As many Nigerian engineers thought that the COREN presidency was an exclusive right of past NSE presidents. Are you the first non-president of NSE to serve as COREN president? Were there others before you?
Well, I'm not the first engineer who has not served as NSE president or president of COREN. In fact, the first president of COREN was never president of NSE. V.A. Hafner is the name. He was president in 1972. After him came I.O. Oladapo, who also was never president of NSE. Okay, that was the second president. The third president, fourth president, fifth president, yes, were presidents of NSE. Father Honsi as the third president, Falui, the fourth president, Ike Noah, the fifth president. Then after Ike came, the sixth president, Professor Gulma, who is still alive, who was never NSE president. And after him also came E.B. Oshoba. He too was never NSE president. Then the eighth, Abu Gumel, the ninth, Bulama. Then, of course, the 10th, who served for only 1 year, completed Bulama's tenure when Bulama died, of Ogumbayo. He too was not NSE president. Then after him came Kashim Ali, who was NSE president, and of course, Ali RABIU, who was never NSE president. So it's not an exclusive or retirement home for NSE presidents. People misconstrue that as the office of COREN president as whatever NSE president's retirement home. And to the extent that even when there was a contest between Engineer Otis and myself in 2019, some people were saying that I have never served as NSE president. Why am I contesting for the position of COREN president? Which was a wrong was a misconception. So yeah, I am not the first, and I believe that I will not be the last.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, after your presidency, what next?
Life goes on.
Life
goes on.
Yeah. Now, I have a question for you, a very important question. Can you ever say no to Nigerian engineers if one day they make a clarion call for you to serve?
Clarion call?
Yes.
For me to serve them?
To serve them.
Where I am now, I'm serving Nigerian engineers. I'm not serving myself, I'm serving Nigerian engineering family, not only engineers.
I'm talking about the Nigerian engineers.
Nigerian engineers?
Yes.
That's you and I.
Yes. Under the
and Ikenna Okonkwo. I just say so. Well, I will not say no.
All right.
I will not say no.
Now, let me ask you another very important direct question. In 2017, you contest for the NSE president because of the restriction in the NSE MEMAT. The restriction was that if you must be a deputy as a vice president within five years, then you were out that 5 years after contesting in 2013 and 2015. To many, many engineers were not happy with that. To many, they felt you are one of the best presidents NSE never had. Now, the barrier has been removed. Many still believe you have the golden touch to turn things around. Mr. President, after serving as COREN president, and the members of engineers say they want you to lead them, will you say no?
Well, actually, that depends on what the situation, would, what the situation is at the particular time. It is true that no COREN president of the 5 or 6 who were never NSE presidents has served and went back to NSE to become president. But many NSE presidents have come to COREN to become president. And because of that, some people say, which is bigger? Is it COREN or NSE? And I liken that to what is happening at the national politics, where senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria go back to their states to become governors, while governors who have served in their states also come to the Senate to become senators and sit in the Senate chamber and raise their hand like classroom students, like students, before they can be permitted to talk by the presiding officer. So it actually doesn't really matter whether I have served as COREN president or I have not. If the opportunity presents itself for me to be president of NSE, of course, why not? It is not about going to be president. Actually, it's about service to the profession. And a lot of work, there's a lot of work to be done in NSE, not only in NSE, but in the engineering profession generally. And so whoever has an opportunity to make his own contributions and the engineers feel that he can bring his wealth of experience to bear in leading them, well, so be it.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. I love the answer. It's not about your person, it's about service to the profession. That is something that is common whenever you meet engineers. Many engineers are not happy with engineering bodies because they feel they don't represent their interests. Is it true?
Well, I may not say it is entirely true. It can also be true, but it's not entirely true. What are the engineering bodies? We have only basically two engineering bodies in Nigeria, the NSE and COREN. Of course, the others are high up there, the Academy of Engineering, and I think that's all that we have in engineering. NSE was set up to do one or two things: ensure professionalism, then cater for the welfare of engineers. These are the two, for me, these are the two basic things. Now, how far has NSE gone, in delivering on this mandate? It depends on who is, making an assessment. For me, NSE over the years has tried to ensure that the right thing is being done as far as engineering profession is concerned. But whether it has spoken when the need arose or arises for the welfare of its members is another issue. So if engineers are not happy that with the bodies, well, they may have their reasons. For COREN, you all know what we are set up to do. I think we are set up to regulate the practice of engineering in Nigeria. But a lot of engineers don't understand. I think this is an opportunity for me to make a few, to clear certain issues. I often see engineers ask on platforms, what is COREN doing for us? What is COREN and NSE? They don't COREN and NSE. What are they doing for us? COREN cannot do anything for you beyond ensuring that engineering is practiced in Nigeria in line with relevant codes and standards, and the right thing is being done. COREN is doing for you licensing, licenses you to practice engineering. It's just like asking the VIO, or what do we call them now? The Federal Road Safety, who gives you license to drive your car, and your car is bad, you are blaming Federal Road Safety Corps. You cannot blame Federal Road Safety Corps for your car developing faults. You have to maintain your car. All they do is to license you to drive, and if you don't have the license to drive, you are committing an offense. So as he said, if you don't have a COREN license to practice engineering, and you do practice engineering, you are committing an offense, which is liable. So these are, the two bodies have different roles. They have their roles to play. I believe that COREN is playing its role, to the best of its ability. Only recently, an advertisement was placed in the newspapers for consultants on the railway projects. And many of the requirements that were put there were aimed at excluding Nigerian engineers, and they were contrary to the COREN Act. Contrary to the COREN Act. We wrote to the Honorable Minister of Transport or Transportation, quoting clearly the provisions of the COREN Act that they have violated by that advert, and asked that the advert should be withdrawn. I want to tell you, Ben, that that letter was replied by the minister, and the areas that we pointed out, they promised they were going to correct them. But at the last time, I heard that even the process has been discontinued. So these are some of the things that we do that we can do for engineers. But I don't have to go. Somebody was telling me recently that they posted a non-engineer to go and head a department somewhere. And I said, so what should I do? And the department is called Department of Infrastructure. It's not only engineers that are in infrastructure. Infrastructure, the built environment is all about, they're all doing infrastructure. If the minister has decided to change the name of the department and brought somebody in the built environment, there was little or nothing you can do. Maybe NSE can go and fight, but certainly not COREN. So this is it, Ben.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for that. That also takes me to, you have mentioned one of the things, that was the next question I was supposed to ask you, but you have mentioned one of the things COREN is doing. Now we put it direct to you. What is COREN doing? Tell us the recent developments in COREN and since you took office as president.
Well, you see, COREN has very clear mandates in the act establishing it. And the broad mandate of COREN is to regulate engineering practice in Nigeria in all aspects and ramifications. That's the broad mandate. Under this, there are other sub-mandates, like determining who are practitioners, engineering practitioners in Nigeria for the purpose of the art. Also, there is one of the sub-mandates is to determine what standards of knowledge are to be attained by persons seeking to become registered as engineers, and raising those standards from time to time as circumstances may permit. So we are talking about standards, right? Yes. And of course, we are also to maintain register of engineers and publication of the register from time to time. Now, these are also being expanded to include other categories of engineering practitioners, technologists, technicians, and craftsmen. So basically, this is what we do. And in carrying out these mandates, we do accreditation of engineering programs in universities and polytechnics to ensure that their facilities are of standards and that they can train engineers. So basically, this is what we do. And is there any question on what we have achieved over the last 2.5 years? Have you asked that? Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Did you ask that question?
Sir?
Did you ask, like, your question was a multiple question?
Yes.
And what does COREN do and what have we done over the last since we came on board, right?
Yes, and you are personal as president.
When I took over as president?
Yes.
Well, we have done a lot of things. And some of the things that we have done include accreditation, visitation to universities and polytechnic. Like I said, in 2019, from June 2019, when we took over in April, up to September 2021, we have accredited 146 programs in 37 universities. And we produce, and we're already trying to see how we can implement the outcome-based engineering education, accreditation manual for engineering programs in Nigerian universities. You are aware that we are looking at the possibility of migrating from the traditional system of engineering training to outcome-based engineering education. And we beyond that now, we have proposed some timelines, for activities of the OBE. Only last week, we went to Zaria to do a training program for university lecturers, engineering lecturers in the northwestern geopolitical zone of Nigeria. For capital projects, we have built about 3 COREN zonal offices. We are building the 4th and 5th. The 3 are in Benin City, Lafia, and Katsina. Then now, the projects are ongoing in Asaba and Akure. That's, I think, a plus for us. And we created a unit in COREN called Professional Proficiency Development and Certification Unit. The ERM that we are doing, Engineering Regulation Monitoring, was just a program before we came on board. But when we came and the new act was given to us by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, we created an ERM department, Engineering Regulation Monitoring Department, which is a full-fledged department in accordance with the law establishing COREN. Now we have restructured the ERM. We restructured the ERM. It's no longer the type of ERM where all inspectors, irrespective of disciplines, visit one site that they have nothing to do with. Now we have restructured it into 5. Both basic, basic disciplinary disciplines, rather. 5 basic disciplines. We have the civil that contains water, structures, highways, transportation, and all that. We have mechanical that has manufacturing, industrial engineering, and so on. Then we have electrical, electronics. We have agric, and the other one is chemical and process, oil and gas, and so on. So 5. Now, what inspectors would only go to visit sites where they have relevance. Where is a civil engineer has nothing to do in an electrical electronics engineering project site, he will not visit the site for any reason. Only electronic inspectors will visit the site. Now, we also structured it such that there will be state technical committees in the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT, and the National Technical Committee. We have inaugurated these STCs in about 13 states, and we are still counting. Very soon, we are going to Bayelsa, then we'll also go to Delta State to inaugurate the STCs. So there are quite a lot that we have done, but you ask that I will be answering each question for only 1 minute. I believe I'm taking more than 5 minutes to answer this. So I don't want to receive a red card.
Oh, yeah.
For violating the rules.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Apart from being the president, you are also the chairman of the COREN tribunal and concurrent jurisdiction with the Federal High Court. What is the work of this tribunal?
Well, it's to try, the tribunal is actually to try disciplinary cases. Engineers and engineering practitioners are involved in. Before any case comes to the tribunal, it goes through an engineering investigating panel. The panel consists of council members of COREN, 3 council members, and 4 non-council members whose disciplines are relevant to the cases in question. Now, the panel takes it takes its time to investigate properly cases before it, where nothing is established against any of the practitioners. They ask that the practitioner be discharged and acquitted. He has no case. But when there are cases, they now forward the cases to the tribunal for disciplinary action. So the tribunal sits, it has a legal assessor who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, Lateef Fagbemi. I'm sure everyone knows Lateef Fagbemi, a very tough legal practitioner and SAN. He is the legal assessor of the tribunal. He guides us, the tribunal. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know certain aspects of law. So he guides the tribunal on aspects of law, anything that is legal, and we need to take decisions. The assessor guides us. So we tried recently. We tried it, 3 cases in the tribunal recently. One was discharged and acquitted, and the other 2 cases were found guilty of certain offenses, and we punished them with suspension of their licenses for 1 year each. So it's a serious matter, and engineering practitioners, not only engineers, engineering practitioners should know that in COREN today, there is a new sheriff in town, and so people must walk by the rules.
Thank you, Mr. This time around, please permit me, because I said the tribunal has foreign jurisdiction with the High Court. I think you should permit me to address you as my lord.
No.
Okay. All right, let's move to the next question. We are rounding off. What legacy would you like to leave as president of COREN?
Well, I have always said that COREN is work in progress. The immediate past leadership did a lot to reposition COREN. But soon after they left, a new law came, and we are the first set of leadership that is looking at the implementation of the new act. And so, for me, it is work in progress. And as for what I want to be remembered for, I want to be remembered as someone who came and left behind his footprints I want to ensure that engineering is developed to a certain level in Nigeria before I take my leave as president in 2023.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Do you have any regret practicing engineering in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, believe you me, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any regrets. The road may have been very rough and tough, but Nigeria is our country. Only indigenous engineering practitioners can develop this country. Any foreigner who comes to Nigeria is coming here to do business. He does not have the interest of this country at heart. So it is our country. We must remain here, and as they used to say, and salvage it together.
Can you say you are a fulfilled engineer?
Well, I am very fulfilled. I'm very fulfilled.
All right.
Ordinarily, I'm a fulfilled person. Whatever comes to me, I take it as an act of God. So that is my fulfillment. For engineering, I have done my bit. I may still have a lot to do, but I have done my bit and I'm fulfilled, both as a private practitioner and also as a leader in the engineering body.
Mr. President, you said I should know my lord. I will continue with Mr. President. Mr. President.
Yes.
You are a fellow of the biggest professional association in the world, and that is American Society of Civil Engineers. Yes. That association has only 3% of its membership as fellows. Yes. This is a noble achievement. Can you compare American Society of Civil with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, or is there something you think NSE can learn or borrow from ASCE?
Well, as for comparison, it can only stop at the level that they are both, engineering associations. But for performance, there's a wide gulf, as a matter of fact. And it's important that the NSE leadership at any point in time must up its game for people to continue to show interest, in society. Many times I hear, even recently in NSE Council, the issue was raised that COREN was doing direct examination and depriving NSE from getting, membership, which for me, I think is just begging the question. When I joined NSE in the late 90s, COREN was doing direct examination in the late 90s, but I never went to COREN to do examination. Instead I chose to go to the NSE because we saw NSE at the time as an association, as a society we needed to belong to because of what it was. But in the recent past, a lot of these things are no longer being done in NSE. NSE has gone down a little, if truth must be told. And so these young engineers or young graduates are not interested in the huge monies that a branch will ask for to do induction in the branch. To do the examination is huge sums of money. To even after you have passed the examination, to register is a huge sum of money. At the end of the day, they end up spending close to 300 and something thousand just to be an NSE member. And they now ask, what do they gain from being NSE members? Now, COREN that licensing them to practice will charge them only 60,000. The process from the beginning to the end is not more than 90,000. From the beginning, from filling of the form, online filling of the form, to the examination, to paying your registration fee, is no more than 100,000. So naturally, they will choose to go to the one that is more relevant to them that is more important to them, and that is cheaper. So what I would like NSE to do is to, in American Society of Civil Engineers, every blessed day, except perhaps Saturdays and Sundays, I receive mails. They call ASCE Collaborate. And what they have there is professional and career topics on a daily basis of contemporary issues. So as a professional, you will be happy that you belong to this type of association and you are getting updated on new ways of doing things in the profession. I have advised the incoming president of NSE, Tasio Wudi, I hope he's on this platform, that he needs to do so, because he needs to start this thing in January. Let him get they have all the database, because I used to receive mail from NSE. Most times, the only thing we get is NSE, it's ES sending letters, warning the kind of NIMEC E, and so on and so forth. These are not things that we should be doing at this level. We should do serious things. I called the ES the other day and was asking, what is this back and forth people are doing with NIMEC E? You should be a serious society, you know? So if NSE could do this technical, literature and send online to its members, believe you me, they will even run away from COREN, because COREN doesn't do all these things. All we do is also give license to go and practice, but to continue to update you on the new ways of doing things in the profession to be the society. So this is going to be one area I would like to see NSE go into. And Tasio Wudi has all of 2 years. Papa Ghana has only 3 months, so there's little or nothing you can do. So Tasio Wudi has all of 2 years, 24 months, and he has 3 months from now to plan. And I have told him one-on-one, if he's on this program, he should listen to me again and take this as I speak. That we need to up our game.
Thank you very much, Mr. You can turn the hand of time. What is that change or to bring back?
Sorry?
If you to turn the hand of time, is there anything you would like to change or bring back?
Well, I do not have the power. That will only be a wish. But in the course of life, I lost quite a number of very good friends of mine, whom if I would have my way, I will ask that the Almighty Allah brings them back. But that's not a possibility anyway. Yes. Very good friends of mine grew up together.
If, again, you have to fast forward time, what is that thing ordinarily you can achieve in 10 years that you would like to achieve now?
Honestly, I don't know. That the future belongs to the Almighty God. So
that's a smart move. Have you ever had a major setback?
As a person or as a president of COREN?
As a person.
Well, I would say as a person and as well as president of COREN. I remember in 2019 when we came in and went to Hong Kong for the IEA assembly. We had an invitation to be admitted as signatories of the IEA, of the Washington Accord of the IEA, and we lost narrowly, and we have to come back home and prepare for the next assembly of 2020. And they gave us some insights on what we needed to do. One of them was to ensure that our accreditation process was independent of government. You understand? Independent of government. And of course, COREN is government. And they said it has to be completely neutral. And we thought Okay, that a smart way would be to set up a board, an engineering accreditation board. We set up an engineering accreditation board of eminent and very distinguished engineers, and the board got to working. We were on our way to achieving our aim. They have done all the preliminary works to kick off accreditation of engineering programs in universities on behalf of COREN. And all of a sudden, we got a letter from the Honorable Minister of Works asking us to desist from implementing or using the board because it was against the law, whatever law. And we had no option to rest the board. We rested the board, and we have not made any significant progress since we rested that board. And for me, it was a major setback for engineering development in Nigeria.
All right. It is interesting. Interesting question. In Things Fall Apart, you know the story of Okonkwo, how he passed through a turbulent time in his life, and he thought he would not survive it. Later, he survived it. I think it's in chapter 3 of Things Fall Apart, and he said that anytime he looks back and remember that incident, he will smile and say, if I could survive this, I can survive anything. Is there anything that you can look back at and say, with a smile, if I could survive, I can survive anything?
This is a serious one, you know. Well, honestly, I don't think I can really look back and remember anything. So I should be excused from this question.
so okay, I will. Okay, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years, and what to achieve before you clock 70?
Well, again, the next 10 years is the future, and the future belongs to God. So anywhere I find myself in the next 10 years, it's God that 10 years ago, I never dreamt that I would be president of COREN. So today I'm president of COREN. So in the next 10 years, I can be the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I don't have that dream yet, but it could just happen. So the future belongs to God, and let's leave it at that.
All right. Now, what would be the title of a book about your life if you are to write an autobiography about engineer RABIU? What would be the title of the book?
An engineer without borders.
Engineer without borders. I cannot wait for that.
You'll be the author.
Eh? What did you say, sir?
I said you'll be the author. It will not be an autobiography. You will be the author.
Seriously? Okay, that's a matter for another day. What is your advice as we pass Nigerian engineers?
Sorry?
What is your advice for young engineers?
Oh, well, young engineers have to be a little bit patient. They have to follow their principles, learn the ropes, and before coming out to look for Naira. These days, they start with the Naira. They are not patient. They don't learn the ropes, and the end result is disaster. So my advice is for them to be patient in all that they do, and then learn the ropes, like I said, And once they have all this, money will flow much later. This is what we do.
All right, on a final note, before I go to the corner kick segment where participants will ask you questions, today, fortunately, today Nigeria is 61. And we are kicking off this program, or Nigeria is celebrating her independence. What is your wish for Nigeria?
Well, I wish that Nigeria would go back to its glorious days where everyone was his brother's keeper, where you could travel from Kaduna through Biningwadi to Kontagora to Lagos from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning without any issues. I wish that the security situation of this country will improve greatly. And I wish that Benjamin Osita Dima Oko would be the brother of RABIU ALIMASUYA without, any encumbrances of tribe or religion.
Thank you, Mr. President. For those who are just joining us, this is Inside the Arena. We have as our guest, Engineer RABIU, also known as Lee. For those who didn't join us on time, this is an expo. If you want to know the secret where Lee comes from, you can buy the tape. Engineer RABIU is the president of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, past vice president of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and also past chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Kano branch. We have asked him questions beginning from his life, his parents, his school days, his life as an engineer, as president, and many questions about him that we ordinarily didn't know about him. This is the direct free kick segment of the program. We are now going to go to the corner kick. Corner kick is a section where we are going to just give 10 minutes for the participants to ask questions. If you have a question as a participant, you raise your hand. We unmute you to ask questions. As I said earlier, participants are free to ask questions, but the host, I am the host. I believe everybody participating in the program knows my name, Engineer Ben OC. If a participant asks a question and the host feels that the question is out of context, the host can declare the question, and that excuses the guest from answering the question. Engineer Abdullawa Zubair. Engineer Abdullawa, please can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Thank you very much. I'm Engineer Abdullawa Zubair. To our special guest of today, the current president, I greet you, sir. My question is this: where did you meet COREN? Where is COREN now? And where do you want to leave COREN? Simple. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, over to you.
Yes. Well, I thought when I was answering some of Ben's questions, I said COREN was work in progress, and that the leadership before mine had done a lot to reposition the council. And soon after they left, the law was changed, or the law was improved. There were things that we needed to do for us to be able to implement the new law. And so we set machinery in motion to implement the new act. We created some new departments within the council. We restructured some of the programs we used to have, like the ERM, and we are migrating, like I said, from the traditional system of engineering education to the outcome-based engineering education. And of course, we are, as far as capital projects are concerned, also we are improving on the work done by the previous leadership. So for the mandate, basic mandate of COREN, we are continuing in line with the Act, what the previous leadership did. I met COREN as a council that was doing its best to reposition engineering practice in Nigeria. I took it up from there with the new Act to improve on what the previous leadership did. And for the future, we hope that as time goes on, COREN will be one of the best, engineering regulatory bodies in the country.
All right. Thank you very much. I am Engineer Francis Tafu. Please, can you unmute and ask your question?
Thank you very much, Engineer Ben Osiyeko, for this wonderful platform, and COREN President. I appreciate you, sir. You made mention of something I would have asked you a question on. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you made mention, sir, of something I would have asked you a question on, because I had my sentiments about it. That means the charter being in the hands of government, as you talked about when you were at the International Association or something, one of the things that disqualified us somehow. You talked about charter being in the hands of government, COREN. My question is, I want you to sincerely put this in perspective. First question, which is preferable, which is better? Because internationally, the charter is in the hands of divisions. Just like you're a fellow of ASCE. ASCE has charter to practice civil engineering in the United States. And I think rightly, they have shown that the division, if they have the charter, they will be able to properly regulate engineering division-wise. So I want you to answer that. That's my first question. Which is a better practice? What is obtainable in the United States, or what we are doing here in Nigeria, where is in the hands of government as a regulatory arm, and again, it's a general thing, not COREN is not individualized to divisions. Secondly, I want you to help us out, because government regulatory agencies, I'll use the electrical, for example.
Please, let's limit it to one question, like so that others can ask.
So please, let me ask this. Like NEMSA and NEC, there are certain areas where their regulatory powers seem to conflict with the power given to us by COREN to practice engineering. I don't know if you have come across such instances. What is your take on COREN's response regarding it, sir? Thank you.
Ben, what is your sanction on him? You said one question and he asked two. Well, let me take the first question. You talked about the regulation being in the hands of government, and you are comparing us with America. Let me say that there are more than 50% of the Washington Accord members also have their regulation in government. Our mentors are Malaysia and Pakistan. In Pakistan, it is 100% government regulated. In Malaysia, it is 100% government regulated. Every time we want to compare ourselves with America, when we are citizens of this country, we are not doing those things that Americans do. That's how we went to borrow a presidential system of government from America, hook, line, and sinker, and we are here messing up our country. So we have chosen, government in Nigeria, government has chosen that it should be government regulated in line with people with whom we have similar affiliations. Like the Malaysians, why don't we compare ourselves with Malaysians, Singaporeans, Pakistanis, and so on. We always go to America to compare ourselves with America. And America has gone very, very far. We cannot do those things that Americans do. So it was not entirely that a problem that government is regulating, or that was why we lost our chances in Hong Kong. But it was just one of them. In fact, most importantly, is that we didn't know the politics at the time. My past president, Engineer Kashim Ali, had to find out later. He had to find out later that we didn't do enough lobbying. It's about lobbying. We didn't know that we needed to go to the rooms of the various presidents from the other countries to go and lobby them. That was how we lost it. So for me, there is no problem with government regulating. If you leave regulation in the hands of societies, division, or whatever in Nigeria, then we have missed it. We are finished. Government can best regulate because they have the power for regulation. You want to go to a site, to visit a site where engineering is being practiced, and the man sends you away, don't come to my site, there's nothing you can do. Without government, government has the security, government has the police, government has all the securities. So you need government. That's my take.
The President Engineer Edmond Nkalo.
Thank you very much, Engineer Ben Osioko. Thank you, my president. My question is, I heard you when you said engineering regulation monitoring has been inaugurated in some other states. I wonder when it will come to some states like my own, Anambra State. We've not seen engineering regulatory monitoring, the new version of it being inaugurated.
Let me answer you now. You have made your point, so that we don't waste time. Ben said it's 1 hour. Now it's almost 2 hours.
Thank you, sir.
We for a long time, in fact, since 2019, we wrote to all the governors of the 36 states and the FCT, asking that they should grant us time. We even suggested time. If it's not suitable, they should give us time that is suitable for them to inaugurate these STCs in the states. And we are using government because we want the buy-in of the government for the program to succeed. And again, that brings us to government participation. There is no way if the government of a state, of Anambra State, doesn't key into our ERM in Anambra, and the thing will succeed. That is why we are using the state governors. And a lot of them, 13 of them have agreed they have inaugurated the STCs in their states. Only 2 or so were not available, and their deputy governors did the inauguration. So if we have not gotten a response from the governor of Anambra State. Unfortunately, Anambra State is now in an election period, and they are killing people every day. So maybe after the elections, you, Nkalu, will help us to reach your government and get us a date for the inauguration. We will gladly come and do it. Thank you.
We only take 2 more questions. Engineer Innocent Obe, lower your, unmute yourself, and after him we take, we take Engineer Eric Onyiwu. I think I see the last person, Engineer Memaje, AI Memaje. We take the 3 of them. Engineer Innocent Obe, unmute yourself.
Hello, good evening.
We are with you.
Hello. Yes,
Yeah,
thank you, Engineer Benosi and Shigarin Lafia. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
My question is to the concerning this Council of Establishment memo from the civil service regarding engineering practice. Of 2018, there was a regulation that says entry role of graduate engineers into civil service is from level 9. I don't know what is the role of COREN in trying to enforce this, because from my observation and few interaction with people that have gotten into the civil service recently, most of them have not been placed accordingly. And the new circular that says the certificate, professional certificate, does not guarantee placement is now being upheld in most of those institutions, even while the earlier one of placement have not been put into recognizance. So, sir, I want you to throw light on that. What is COREN doing with regard to that, please? Thank you, sir.
Well, as for the entry, circular on entry point, what COREN can do is to write when we have information. I always say that COREN is not a magician. You can't know what is happening in Enugu State if you don't draw our attention in writing. You cannot know what's happening in Lagos State if you don't draw our attention in writing. So once we get these reports from the anyone, we'll write to the appropriate authority, quoting the relevant provisions of the law or the regulation or the circular that they are violating, and drawing their attention that they should implement as enshrined in these documents. But without that, there's really nothing. This is all that we can do. And I've already given you an example of what happened recently in the Ministry of Transportation. And we got we got some reprise. We got some reprise. So this is what we can do. If you have issues, you write. But as for the government saying that professional certification will no longer be required to get to certain levels, I think the Society of Engineers should be in a better position to fight for its members on that.
Okay, sir. Engineer Eric Onyiwu. Unmute. Okay.
Okay. Let me congratulate the president and Engineer Ben. It's been a wonderful evening. My question to the president is this. I am practicing as a consultant, and so I'm a little bit worried about what is happening in the consultancy market. We know that ideally for consultancy jobs in the agencies of government, non-COREN registered consultants are not supposed to be patronized. But in actual fact, we find out that as you go from ministry to ministry, agencies to agencies, when an expression of interest is given out and a shortlist is developed by that agency after scrutinizing the submissions, that many a times on these lists, you find non-COREN registered firms being shortlisted by these agencies of government. Is there a way COREN can make it mandatory for all registered consulting firms to inform it of such lists, or wherever they get a short list, to pass that list back to COREN to scrutinize and ensure that everybody on that list is COREN registered? If they are not COREN registered, then COREN should immediately engage the ministry or agency to call the attention to need to undertake that exercise, to review that exercise. Because we see many times, particularly in the smaller jobs, that non-registered consultants are used by agencies of government to the detriment of registered consultants. I don't know what your opinion is on that. Thank you.
Yes, my brother, Eric, I don't know whether you joined a bit late when I mentioned the issue of the Ministry of Transportation on the railway projects. In fact, only recently we received a list of shortlisted consultants from the same Ministry of Transportation asking us to verify their status with respect to their practice license submitted. In fact, what we even use now is no more the registration certificate, is the current practice license. So if you have even forged our certificate, which many people still do, I believe, and you take it there, it's not the certificate that is the issue, it's the current practice license. They sent their current practice license about 5 firms, and we verified them and responded. Again, the second leg of your question is whether you can, as a consultant, send the shortlist. Of course, yes. Like I said, COREN is not a magician. We can't know what is happening everywhere, except we are informed. So if you send us the shortlist, we'll go to our register and see whether these people are registered. If they are not, we'll write to the Honorable Minister or Permanent Secretary or whoever is conducting that exercise and draw their attention that the certain consultant, so and so consultant is not fit to practice engineering in Nigeria. And therefore, if you give him the job, you are violating our laws. And they don't like to hear that they are violating the laws. So we'll do that, Eric. And we'll protect your job and our own job also.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I think we take, as I say, Engineer Memaje. Engineer Memaje, please can you unmute and ask your question?
Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Good evening, my President. Good evening, my President.
Memaje, you are my council member. What do you want to ask me?
I'm sorry I'm late, but I think for the benefit of those that are not council members, mine is on the state technical committees, where Mr. President has inaugurated about 9 now,
13.
and 18. And so far, we only had some report from Ilorin Okwara State chapter. It's worrisome because, as you have been saying, COREN is not a magician, and we cannot be everywhere. So the STCs, as proposed and inaugurated, are supposed to be those that are doing the work of COREN in terms of engineering practice in it. Now, my question is, Mr. President, how do we make these STCs more effective? Thank you very much.
Oh, I expect you to answer that question in the next council.
But you answer it now, Mr. President.
No, I will expect you to answer that question in the next council.
Yes, Mr. President, but now answer it.
You know, it's all about funding, as a matter of fact.
Correct.
We have created a subhead in the budget. I don't expect this question from you, Memaje. We have created a subhead in the budget for ERM activities.
Mr. President, that's where I wanted to use my power. You know, I said, any question, and I say that
please sanction me, Memaje. Give him yellow card.
That question side, and it will excuse Mr. President from. If I knew that Memaje of COREN Council, I wouldn't have allowed a COREN Council member to ask question. I would give his slot. Oh my God, Mr. President, we want to take 2 more questions.
Well, anyhow,
I can see chairman. I have to allow my chairman. I can see Engineer Isa Imabino and Engineer Peter Ibwini-Jeso. I think I have to allow these 3 distinguished engineers. There is only 3 of them that have raised their hands. So we take these 3 and go to our prize giving question and we wrap it up, please. Engineer A.B. Abdul Malik, one question each.
Good evening, Mr. President, sir.
Good evening, Chairman.
Thank you, sir. How was your trip yesterday, sir?
Beautiful.
Okay, my question is this, sir. Consultancy services and consultants, I don't know, will the process of registration. I have like 3 or 4 people who are in UK and US, and some of them in Nigeria, they want to register as consultants. But when I ask questions, they said they should bring sum of 2.5 million. Is that correct?
2. what?
2.5 million to get registered as a consultant with COREN. That the process is
foreign consultants pay in dollars. I don't know whether they give you dollar equivalent.
Nigerians. They are Nigerians, but they are Nigerians. They're not foreigners. They are Nigerians, but they.
I didn't say foreigners. I said foreign consultants. I didn't say foreigners. Foreign consultants pay in dollars.
No, Nigerian consultants. Okay, no, Nigerian consultants, but
Nigerian consultants are those based in Nigeria.
They are based in Nigeria, but because they are in UK for a course for 2 years, they want to get registered. They are asking the
if they are based in Nigeria, that is not the amount, please. You should go to COREN office and find out actually the amount, but it's not. It cannot be 2.5 million. Consultants have been registering for. They are registered for a peanut even. It's not even something much.
Oh, great! So, thank you so much, sir.
So, okay.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes.
Engineer Asa Imabino. Unmute. Unmute, sir. Engineer Esa Imabino. Unmute your mic, sir. Okay. Engineer Esa Imabino, if he's not Engineer Ibuni Jesu Peter.
Okay, correct.
Okay. I think if they are not ready, Mr. President.
Yes.
The two people I called that raised their hands have lowered their hands. So, okay, Jinesa Imabino is back.
Maybe their questions have been answered.
Can you unmute and ask your question? He raised again.
Okay. Yes, I think I've unmuted the mic.
Okay, sir. You can go ahead.
I want to thank Mr. President for being on the air for 2 hours, and I listened from the beginning to the end. And I think with him, we have a lot of courage to say that the Nigerian engineers is there, strong, though not having the wings to fly yet, but a question other than to say, Mr. President, how are you?
Thank you, sir. Fine, fine, fine. Fine, my brother.
Gentlemen, we have exhausted all the questions we have. And I think we have come to one of the high points of this game, and what we call it the extra time. The extra time is when we are going to bring Mr. President back for his parting shot before we go. The extra time is when I think we have to hear the parting shot from Mr. President. I know once we present the prize, this is the prize for today, and we are going to ask a question. And as I said earlier, when we ask the question, the person that posts the fastest, you will post at the chat box the answer to the question. The first person to post the answer to the question, all of us are going to be seeing the answers, automatically wins this prize. Let's go to that question, the extra time. It's my pleasure to give Mr. President an opportunity to give us his final shot before we go to the extra, and then after then we officially bring the program to an end. Mr. President, in 2 minutes, what is your final shot?
Oh, it's my turn again. No other questions from the audience?
Yes, no other question.
Okay, well, let me thank the producer and the presenter of this program, whom I fondly call Director General of FNSE Programs, Engineer Ben Osioko, for this very wonderful innovation. It is indeed, an opportunity for engineers to, for me, the way I look at it, as unwind. Every time, serious business of design, construction, supervision, DYDX, and so on. But this program is a lighter, is in a lighter mood, a program to share, to share, one's experiences in life, and on a lighter mood. Can Isa Emabino mute himself, please? We are hearing him. So Ben, I thank you very much for bringing me to this program as the very first, in the very first edition. I hope you also bring in some of our senior colleagues to come and share their experiences with us very soon. the final analysis, I want to pray. I also hope that I have been able to wriggle myself out of this arena in peace. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Engineer RABIU, FNSE, FASE, President of the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, and of course, the one he doesn't like, the Chairman, COREN Tribunal. He said I shouldn't call him my lord. We will leave it for another day. Give us for today, and we thank you for. We are supposed to be on inside the arena for 1 hour, but you have patiently remained inside the arena for 2 hours. We say a very big thank you to you for coming. Over to the participants, as this program is structured in a way that at every time we come for this program, a participant will go beautiful prize. And this prize for today is sponsored by Engineer Distinguished, a friend of the President, Engineer David Omoni Becker. He is the one who sponsored this prize. And the question we are going to ask now, please listen very attentively. Engineer RABIU served as Vice President of the Nigerian Society of Engineers for 3 years. In what year was he elected as Vice President, and in what city? We need the fastest answer. In what year was he elected Vice President, and in what city? The person that posed the first correct answer in the chat platform, automatically, Mr. President is the one to confirm if the answer is correct. And once he confirms that, we are going to give the prize to the winner.
Tassi Udil has won the prize, but you know that Tassi Udil will win. He got it right, and he's the first.
Oh my God! If I knew, I would have disqualified him from participating. But since I did not set the rule, I think the first in the platform is Engineer TSG Woodale. He posted 2009 and in Owerri. Engineer Woodale, please, can you unmute your mic? Engineer Woodale, can you unmute your mic? Mr. DP,
yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you.
Mr. President, congratulations. It is a in fact, Ben Osi, you are now going to be called engineer journalist. Because these questions let me show my face. These questions you raised are really, really well-researched questions. And in fact, the question I was formulating was, you are going to ask the question, what is the name of the current president's grandmother, the current president's mother? Because he said it at the beginning, and I thought it is one of those questions people don't pay attention. So, but you asked the simplest question. And I was ready to answer it.
Thank you,
congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you.
To do e-presentation, Mr. Deputy President. This is a DexJet Plus 4120. It's 3-in-1 scanner, printer, photocopier, all colored. And you are lucky. I think you're a lucky man. Not too long ago, you received a gift. I will not mention it, from Mr. President.
Thank you so much.
You are first winner for this printer. We say very big congratulations to you.
Thank you.
We see you all in 2 weeks' time.
You know, Ben, you know the DP has just retired from service, and he's setting up a consultancy office. So this printer will be very useful.
Oh
for
my
his new
God!
office.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I want to sincerely thank everybody that has participated in today's program. All our senior engineers. I can see all your names. I can't call all the names. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you and to Mr. President for staying inside the arena. To say that this program continues. We are going to be doing it 2 weeks, and we are going to be bringing in distinguished engineers, not just engineers, personalities from different sectors of the economy and different parts of this country to join in this program. On behalf of my team, I say a very big thank you to all of you. I remain yours sincerely, Engineer Ben O.C. Oko, FNSE.
Director General of Programs.
I think I have to end the show now and go outside the arena. If you have any other questions, we can meet outside the arena. Thank you and have a very wonderful day.
Bye-bye.